Hey guys, my name is Bianca. I'm a yoga instructor slash practitioner. It's been a while since I've last been on YouTube. My last post was a morning flow from, I want to say 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. At this point, it's been a while. It's been a few years. Basically what I'm trying to say. And I want to get back in it. I want to get back on YouTube. I want to make YouTube videos. I want to make tutorials. I want to spread yoga and I want to spread mindfulness. So I thought that the best way to come back would be to do a frequently asked question video slash like my yoga journey and like a little bit about me type thing. So I did a poll on YouTube, not YouTube. I did a poll on Instagram, on my personal and my yoga Instagram, and I asked, if my followers had any questions about yoga and stuff like that. So people sent me in the questions, and so this is a list of those questions plus questions that I guess asked as a yoga instructor, plus questions that I feel, should be covered or like that I want to cover. So yeah, let's get started. First question. What's been the most meaningful part of your spiritual practice slash spirituality? So for me, the most meaningful part of my spirituality has been getting to know myself on a deeper level, getting to know myself and to know my trauma and to know how to heal myself and, to kind of like understand who I am as a person, like what my purpose is. It's been truly transformative. I, honest to God, don't know where I would be without yoga. It's been one of my biggest teachers in life and one of my biggest blessings. And it's taught me so much about myself and so much about how to deal with life. And it's such a beautiful practice. That's why I want to spread it, and I want to spread the knowledge of it, because mindfulness is something that we all need a little bit more of. We all need a little bit more of, staying present and feeling good and letting go and relaxing and knowing how to deal with our anxiety and knowing how to deal with, our lows as well as our highs and everything that comes in between. Just it's a tool that helps us ground ourselves. And it's been my biggest blessing, one of my biggest blessings, and one of my biggest teachers as well. I already said that, but next question. When did you start, and was it difficult? Did you have to constantly keep motivated? So I started when I was 14 years old. I started the summer before freshman year of high school because I had joined a gym. I joined LA Fitness. My mom helped me join the gym because at the time I was really insecure about my body. I did not like how I looked at all. I think that was a time like when Instagram started coming out. I don't even know. But I just remember feeling very insecure about myself and my body, and I just wanted to change it. So that was a time I started going to the gym consistently, and I from there taught myself how to weightlift. And on top of that, would go to the classes. Like I would go to Zumba, I'd go to yoga, stuff like that. And from there, I really continued with the yoga classes. I loved them. I stuck with them, clearly. Was it difficult? Yes and no. Yes, because I come from yes, because, wait, okay. Rewind, backtrack. No, it was not difficult because I come from a dancing background. For a few years prior to that, I used to dance ballet and jazz as well as a little bit of hip hop, but mostly ballet and jazz. And so I kind of had the flexibility from that and a little bit of body awareness from that. But it was difficult because I didn't have strength. I didn't have that core strength. I didn't have the upper body strength that like you need to hold yourself up in a plank or maybe like chaturanga, like low push-up. So that was a challenging part for me, was building my strength up over time as well as increasing my flexibility. But it wasn't as difficult as, say someone that's never done it and has been inactive. Like, I did have a little bit of an advantage, I feel, in that aspect. But there were definitely challenges that I had to overcome. As far as staying motivated, I I just loved it. I loved feeling good, and I loved stretching, and I loved, flowing. That's one of the biggest things. I've always been an active child, and I loved dancing because I loved, flowing, and I'm a very like feely person. Like, I love to feel good in my body, and I love to flow. Like, that's one of the biggest ways that I feel good, is like moving, dancing, whatever. And it's just like yoga does that for me. It makes me want to move, and it makes me want to just like let go. And it's like, it's such a, like I said, it's a beautiful practice, and that's what's kept me motivated, on top of, seeing that I can advance, and seeing like, oh, this person did this pose in class and that looks so difficult, but then, within a few weeks or within a few months, I was able to do it. And so being able to see that progression really motivated me to keep going, because I was like, what else can I do? Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? And then eventually, like, it just adds up and adds up, and with practice and with time, like, you surprise yourself. You really do. You surprise yourself in ways that like you really didn't think that like you could, and you learn so much about yourself. So that's what kept me motivated the whole time, is that it's just like seeing that progression and seeing myself get better. I just wanted to get even more better. It's not even a freaking word. I don't even know. But yeah, it made me want to get even better and better, like, at the practice, because I would see myself, advancing. Do you have to have knowledge on it? No, you don't. You gain knowledge as you go. Do you have to have a specific body type? Absolutely not. You could be slim, you could be thick, you could be chunky, you could be overweight, you could be underweight. Like, literally, whatever body type you have, yoga loves it, okay? Yoga does not discriminate against body type, against race, against ethnicity, against anything. It's about feeling good in your body and learning to love yourself and learning to connect with yourself on a deeper level. That's truly what it's about. It's not about, being able to do a headstand or being able to do some crazy pose, put your leg behind your head. Like, that comes with practice, that comes with time. But the core of it is feeling good and, like, learning to love yourself in all of the different phases of your journey. Your yoga journey. So, like I said before, I started when I was 14 years old and practiced a few years at LA Fitness at the gym. And then one day I just woke up and I'm like, I want to go to the studio. I want to see what a yoga class in the yoga studio is like. So when I was 16, I got up and I went to a yoga studio, and they're no longer here. It was called Rock Yoga. And then I went to another yoga studio, Blue Soul Yoga. Again, they're no longer there. But that was like my main studio. I would go there all the time. I would go there every day, maybe even like twice a day. Like, I would do two classes a day, whatever. Like, at that point in my life, I was, I would get home from school and I would go for a run, and then I would go to the gym, and then I would go to yoga, maybe even 2 classes of yoga, like literally depending on what I felt. And it was just like, I would be going like every single day. Even on the weekends, if it was 6 a.m., I would get my ass up and, I'd get up and just to go, because I knew it would make me feel better after. And from there, my mom was the one that was like, you should do teacher training. Like, you're really good at it, and you're really, it's something that you love. And at first I was like, I don't know, I don't want to do that. But eventually I did do my first teacher training, which I didn't finish. I will say that I, in a sense, regret not finishing it. But again, everything happens for a reason. And, I finished my teacher training with another yoga instructor. But the first one I went to, it was very intensive. It was on the weekends. I'd have to go there and I'd have to sleep over, and it would be from 6 a.m. until bedtime. Sorry about my nail, right? 6 a.m. to bedtime of just straight like yoga practice and like lecture and meditation and stuff like that. And it was really intensive. I was the youngest one there, so it was a challenge, because I was 17 at the time, and on top of that, like I was a senior in high school. So imagine, you know, you're that age and you have to dedicate 2 months of your life, like every weekend, going there, and you know, you have your friends and you have your boyfriend, and then you have like other things and you have homework and stuff like that. And at the time, was I a senior or was I a junior? I might have been a junior. No, I was a junior in high school. I was a junior in high school. I was 17 years old, and it was just a lot at the time. And like I was taking an AP class, and it was just like a lot of things, so I didn't finish it. But I did end up going with another lady who was my yoga instructor prior. She was really good. I didn't get certified until I was 18, and I think I was graduating high school, or I was about to graduate high school when I got my certification. And after that, for about a year, I didn't do anything with it. I just kind of was like, like I'm an 18-year-old girl, like who's gonna listen to me? Like no one's gonna want to take my classes. And I didn't give myself enough credit. So for a year, I didn't do anything with it. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Like I have this under my belt, and I don't want to work a minimum wage job. Like I fucking hate that shit. So I'm gonna do something with it. And so then I tried getting into studios, but I didn't have enough experience, so they didn't want to hire me. It's just fine, whatever. And then I auditioned for UFIT, which is where I currently work now. I've been working there for 2.5 years, 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that. But yeah, like, okay, I'm not gonna say I didn't do anything with my certification. I did do stuff with it. Like I did hold like classes, but it was mostly classes for my family and stuff like that. And it was just like smaller classes. Like it wasn't anything like, you know what I mean? It wasn't as much as I could have been doing with it. So I got hired by UFIT, and I've been with them ever since. And I love them. I love the classes. I used to teach like 8 classes a week, and now I'm teaching 5. I love the people. I love like the community. It's like just such a there was a beep, sorry. It's so fulfilling. It really is. I love it. Why is yoga so beneficial? Besides the obvious, you know, it helps you deal with your stress. It helps you deal with anxiety. It helps you deal with, you know, depression. It helps circulation. It helps lymphatic drainage. It's good for your joints. It's good for injuries. Like it's literally it's a practice that is so good for like your whole body. It's good for being more aware of your breath and stuff. It's literally a practice for anybody, for everybody. Like if someone tells you yoga's not for me, it is for you. Just give it a chance and be open to the experience, and be open to maybe, you know, recognizing that you're not going to be able to do every pose, and that's okay, but there's modifications that you could take. And you know, just being open to the experience and trying not to close yourself off, and trying not to let your ego get in the way of feeling good and enjoying the practice. If I'm not flexible, can I do it? Yes, of course you can do it. Anyone can do it. There's blocks, there's straps, there's bolsters. There's literally so many different things and so many different ways that you can modify each pose to make it feel good for your body, that in all honesty, there's not really an excuse to not do yoga besides the fact that like you don't want to. What if I fall asleep in Shavasana? If you fall asleep in Shavasana, that's awesome. Like I like it as an instructor. I love when people fall asleep in Shavasana because I feel like I did my job, and I feel like I really helped them relax. It essentially means that your body needs to rest. So if you fall asleep in Shavasana, it's okay. It just means that you need to sleep a little bit. You need to like give your body that time to rest and recover. So don't feel bad about falling asleep. Don't get embarrassed. It happens all the time. And to me, it shows that you fully let go and that you were fully able to relax. What is my favorite pose? So I tend to have tight hip flexors. Hip flexors are your psoas muscles, the muscles that are in front of the hips, and they wrap around from the front to your lower back. So having tight hip flexors can also lead to having a tight lower back. Same thing with hamstrings. If you have tighter hamstrings, that also can contribute to lower back pain. But anything with stretching my hip flexors, and like low lizard lunge or low crescent lunge, like just getting deep into those muscles, it's my favorite thing. Low lizard lunge is probably my favorite pose because one, it stretches your hip flexors, but two, there's so many different things that you could do with it. You could get into an arm balance, you could get into a inversion, you could get into a quad stretch. It's just like there's so many different like avenues that you could go with it, not just that specific pose, but that pose tends to be my favorite, and I like to incorporate that in a lot of my classes and in my practice. Should I do yoga during my period? Yes. It really is dependent on if you're feeling good or not. It's dependent on, if you want to, because there are some days during your period where you just want to relax and you just want to like lay down, and that's okay. That means that your body just needs to rest, and it's okay to rest. But I will say that it does help like with blood flow and circulation. So yoga is a good thing for when you have your period and for when you're up to practice yoga on your period. But try to stay clear of inversions, of any headstands or going upside down, or any time where your hips are above your head or above your heart, because that's gonna kind of go the opposite way of the blood flow, and it's not the best thing for your period. You want to relax and you want to like let go, and so anything that has to do with going upside down I would stay clear of. But again, it's your practice, it's what you feel that you can do that day, it's what you want to do, so take it with a grain of salt. Is it religious? No, it's not religious. There is a religious aspect to it, but that does not mean that you have to necessarily follow it. You can still have your own religious beliefs and practice yoga. Like it's truly like what you want, how deep you want to take your practice, what you want your practice to mean to you. Like you're the one that's in control, you're the one that gets to decide. And that's why another reason why I love this practice is because it's catered to you. It's not about the next person, it's not about the teacher, it's not about whatever. We all have different bodies, we all have different limitations, we all have different abilities. So whatever feels good for you that day, and take it. If it doesn't feel good, you don't have to. What if I fall? If you fall, that's a good thing. Seriously, people are so afraid of falling, and even myself, you don't necessarily want to fall. Like in your mind, you don't want to fall. But the thing is though, is that it's like when you fall, it gives you the opportunity to get back up and to readjust and to try again, so that way you can succeed. It's not a bad thing when you fall. It's actually a good thing, because it gives you room to tweak, and it gives you room to realize, okay, like maybe I wasn't doing this, or maybe I was holding my breath in this pose, or maybe, I wasn't engaging this muscle in this pose. So it's, it gives you room to grow. Will I get judged? No. And if you do get judged, then that's the person's problem. You're there to feel good, you're there to let go and to surrender. And if other people are worried about, you or other people in the room, then like, that's their problem. That's them not honoring themselves enough to, be like, okay, this is about me, no one else. What message do you send when teaching? I really try to send the message of, stay present, because the present really is all that we have. tend to get lost in our thoughts and, you know, think about things that happened in the past or try to plan for the future. And in reality, we only really have right now. So I try to give that message to my students and so that they stay grounded and that they stay present and they enjoy what's going on. Because if your mind is somewhere else and your mind is thinking about the next thing that you have to do or something that already happened, you're not fully enjoying what's going on right now. And I really try to get that message across when I teach and also when I practice. And also that it's about you, essentially, you know, like, yes, that sounds a little bit, you know, egotistical, but at the same point in time, you're the one that's practicing. You're the one it's your body, it's your breath, it's your mind, and it's a tool that you use to feel better and to feel good about yourself. And, you know, you shouldn't feel like you have to do a pose just because you see your neighbor doing it. If you see your neighbor doing something and it inspires you, that's awesome. But if it makes you feel less than, you know, then maybe kind of reflect on that and reflect on why you are feeling like that. It's about, you know, feeling good and getting centered and getting present. That's really the message I really try to get across to my classes. Yeah. So guys, that was all the questions that I have for today to answer. If you have any other questions, feel free to, you know, DM me, to message me. I hope that I see you in my next video. I hope that you subscribe to my channel, and I hope that you give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. I, you know, appreciate the fact that you even clicked on this video, let alone that you even watched it to the end. Like, that means the absolute world to me. But yeah, so I will see you in the next video, and I will leave you with a quote that says, "The present moment is the only moment that we have, and it is the door for every other moment." So reflect on that, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you again so much. From my heart to yours, namaste.